Week 5 Sunday best bets. Now we hit the first leg of our teaser with the Buccaneers on Thursday night, so we have one more leg to sweat out on Sunday. I also have two additional picks, including one for the Sunday night football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys. And on top of all of these three picks, I have an additional bonus NFL future. Now, if you're stumbling onto this page for the first time, welcome. My name is Peter Appel, and this channel is the home for all of my NFL picks moving forward. So if you'd like to keep these NFL picks free, make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button and let me know what you think of my plays in the comment section below. And of course, let me know what you're on for week 5 Sunday action. I'll be sure to respond to them all. Just a reminder that this channel is sponsored by BetMGM. It's the perfect time to use promo code JustGridiron for a first bet offer up to $1,500. Deposit at least $10, and if you lose your first wager on MGM after using code JustGridiron, you will get it all back up to $1,500 in bonus bets. However, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Let's start with the second leg of our teaser, which is the Jets plus 8.5 from the original plus 2.5 point spread. I thought about potentially going for a middle, as I talked about on Thursday's video, but seeing how the public has just ran to the Vikings, continues to bet the Vikings, but that number refuses to budge, which is key here because going from 2.5 to 3, there's been heavy resistance getting the Jets back. If it ever pops at 3, it goes right back. The weather is supposed to be really crappy. You got rain, you got wind, and I already really like the Jets defense, how they stack up against this Vikings offense. I think the Vikings offense is going to really struggle in this one. So I'm still very confident in my Jets plus 8.5 side of the teaser. But if you happen to miss that Thursday night football video, I would recommend you could take the Jets at the original number if you're not a fan of teasers, or you could combine the Jets with the Dolphins +1 against the New England Patriots. I'm personally the Dolphins' biggest hater, as I am now 0 for 3 taking the Dolphins. If we just didn't take the Dolphins this year, we'd be up a ton. We're still up on the year, but because of the Dolphins, we're not as much. So you could take them, we'll see, or you could take the Raiders +2.5 to +8.5 as well. Both of these plays fit the model for a Wong teaser, low totals, and you're getting the best of the number, right? Going over the key numbers of 3 and 7. So if you haven't taken the Jets yet, I recommend teasing them with either the Dolphins or the Raiders. Before we get to the Sunday night football pick and the NFL future, let's talk Panthers versus Bears. There are sound arguments for both sides of the spread. Caleb Williams and the Bears offense has been steadily improving, so you might want to take the Bears, right? Because the Panthers defense is not only injured, but they're terrible. The pitch is that the Bears are going to move the ball up and down the field, and the Panthers just won't be able to keep up. I agree with that. I think the Bears offense is going to have a lot of success in this game. But on the flip side, the pitch for the Panthers +4 is that the offense has looked so much better now that Andy Dalton has taken over the reins. And they got pretty unlucky against the Bengals. They had a turnover in the red zone and were stopped on the goal line, potentially leaving 2 touchdowns off the board, but definitely at least 2 scores. I agree with that side as well. At first, I was surprised to see a lower total, and I think I know why it's trending down. This game is going to have 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, and at Soldier Field especially, wind can heavily affect the game. But 10 to 15 mile an hour wind is not super substantial. It's substantial enough to hit our windy unders trends, which we've talked about on this channel before. But at this point, it's going so far down that I think the market has completely overreacted, and we need to come back in and bet the over 41. I don't think you need a full breakdown of how terrible this Panthers defense is. We know it's bad, but what makes it so much worse and what makes it potentially the worst defense of week 5 is they have 2 key injuries at the linebacker position, Shaq Thompson and Josie Jewell. Now, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that last name correctly, but what we do know is that they are the leading tacklers on this Panthers defense, and now both of them are out. So what we've seen so far is that Caleb Williams really needs time in the pocket to be effective. We saw how bad he looked against the Texans defense, who get a lot of pressure, versus the Rams defense, where he looked very good, and the Rams defense doesn't get any pressure. When Caleb has time, really does succeed in going through his progressions and finding open receivers. The Panthers rank 27th in pass rush win rate. The Rams, they rank 28th, and the Bears put up 24 points against that Rams defense. I see kind of a similar point total for Caleb Williams and the Bears in this one, with the potential for more points. And now, since Andy Dalton took over the Panthers, their offense ranks 8th in EPA per play. That's above teams like the Vikings and right below teams like the Bills and the 49ers. They're likely going to be playing catch up in this game. And since the offensive line has held up much better under Dalton compared to Bryce Young, shocker there, he should have enough time to be effective in this game. With the total this low, we're not asking for 30 points like they've averaged in Andy Dalton's 2 starts. But can we get 20? I think we can. My model on Rithmm makes this game a lot closer to 44, giving us a 58% chance of hitting the over on the key number of 41. I've partnered with Rithmm. It's a new app that uses AI and data modeling to predict props and game outcomes. I highly recommend going to the link in the description to access your 7-day free trial to Rithmm for more prop and game predictions. So, give me the over 41 in Bears versus Panthers to win 1 unit. Let's get to Sunday Night Football, and then we'll end it with our NFL future. The Cowboys enter their Week 5 matchup against the Steelers with a 2-2 record, and by all accounts, they've played like a bottom 10 team in the NFL. They were blown out by the Saints in their home opener 44-19, and then followed it up by allowing 28 points in 3 quarters to the Ravens at home. Sure, they clawed their way back with 19 fourth quarter points, while the Ravens didn't even seem like they were trying. And then they beat the Giants on a short week, right? We bet Giants +6. We covered that spread. And if Daniel Jones didn't underthrow multiple receivers, they might have left the Meadowlands with a loss. I don't know if they would have lost, but it would have been a little bit closer. It wasn't exactly the type of win that gives me any confidence in the Cowboys or their direction this season. This offense ranks 20th in EPA. The defense ranks 24th. It's a one-dimensional team that if you can shut down CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, you're going to win the game. The Steelers' offensive line has looked really, really good, and Justin Fields has really leveled up because of it. He's been pressured on just 20.5% of dropbacks this season, the 12th lowest rate in the league. In Chicago last year, Fields faced pressure on 26.5% of dropbacks, the 3rd highest rate in the league. This has led to a career output for Justin Fields so far, who ranks 11th in EPA per play, plus completion percentage over expectations. 11th for Justin Fields? That's awesome. The one thing the Steelers' O-line has struggled with, though, is getting the run game going. Steelers running backs have averaged 1.7 yards before first contact, which is nearly the worst rate in the league. But luckily, the Cowboys rank dead last in EPA per rush attempt and are giving up 4.6 yards per attempt. Going up against these Steelers when you can't stop the run and you can't stop the run up the middle with Najee Harris, like you're going to get torched. They have the 26th ranked pass rush win rate, so they're not even really going to be in the backfield much to make Justin Fields panic. We've seen Justin Fields panic. The Cowboys aren't really going to do that, especially because no Micah Parsons and no DeMarcus Lawrence in this game. I don't see how the Cowboys are going to stop the Steelers' run game, and I don't think they're going to apply enough pressure to get Justin Fields off his game. But arguably, the biggest edge in this game is the Steelers' defense versus this one-dimensional Cowboys offense. The decision not to sign Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or any of the running backs in free agency, you could have grabbed Devin Singletary, is going to bite Jerry Jones. The trio of Rico Dowdle, Zeke Elliott, and Deuce Vaughn, they're averaging 2.0 yards per carry. It's terrible. The entire Cowboys offense is centered around CeeDee Lamb, and the Steelers rank number 10 in dropback EPA. He'll be blanketed by Joey Porter Jr. all game long, with one of the best safeties in the league, Minkah Fitzpatrick, watching over that. Every point does matter with the Steelers offense, so I'm laying the juice on the money line for Sunday Night Football with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win 1 unit. Let's talk about our future. The future. We're still focusing on the Cowboys. And Cowboys fans, you can turn off the video because we're going to take them to miss the playoffs, -105 to win 1 unit. I laid out a lot of the problems with Dallas, and I don't really see them improving on those soon. And with injuries to Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, I think the season is going to head south quickly. Just in the division, I think the Eagles and the Commanders are going to end up with better records at the end of the season. But also, Packers, Lions, Vikings, all of them are better than the Cowboys. 49ers and the Seahawks are both better than them as well. And one of the AFC South teams is going to make it, or excuse me, the NFC South team is going to make it. And if the Cowboys go up against the Saints, Falcons, or Bucks, they'd probably lose, like they already did to the Saints. The Cowboys' schedule coming up is really, really tough. So even if they win this game against the Steelers, they play the Lions next. Then they have a bye. Then the 49ers, Falcons, Eagles, Texans, then Commanders. After that, they still have 2 games against the Bengals and the Buccaneers and are going to play the Eagles again. I think the Cowboys are going to finish under 500 and miss the playoffs. And I'm locking this in now because if the Steelers win, this price is going to vanish. But even if the Cowboys do somehow end up winning this game, I still think they have a good chance of missing the playoffs. So those are my picks for week 5, but make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on as I'll have my Monday Night Football video out very soon. It's a small card this weekend, but quality over quantity is the name of the game. So let's go 3-0 on Sunday and watch the Cowboys' demise. Why not us?